So, Jonathan, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, good to be here. I'm here in the showroom at La Sportiva. Not too many people around here at the moment.
I know space looks like it's in abundance.
Yeah, space is what we need at these times, that's for sure.
It is indeed. And funny, I mean, that probably leads us neatly onto some of the products that we'll be talking about today, simply because I think the outdoors has been the good guy during the pandemic, and lots of people have got out that may never have got out. And one of the first products we're going to run through is the Ultra Raptor II Mid. And when we were talking about this, quite a mouthful there, isn't it? When you're talking about the transition or the evolution, basically, from like the Raptor, which is your sort of trail all-rounder, really popular shoe within the La Sportiva range, and how that's sort of become this sort of hybrid walking shoe for the next generation who maybe don't want that weight or the stiffness or the support of like a leather, the traditional leather shoe, and just want basically a trainer with a little bit more.
Yeah, that's very much how it has happened. The Ultra Raptor is a kind of an iconic shoe for La Sportiva. It's our longest running shoe. And it was born as a dedicated running shoe, of course. But over the years, we've seen just people use this more as a lightweight hiking shoe. And so, the next logical step was actually to produce a dedicated hiking version of the Ultra Raptor. And so that's why we've got here the mid version of it. And it's going straight into the hiking range. So we still have Ultra Raptor in the running range, but now Ultra Raptor also appears in hiking too.
It's like the most souped up hiking shoe boot. It's an incredible thing to look at.
Yeah, look, it's and again, coming back to the iconic Ultra Raptor, it's almost like a brand in itself, and we really wanted to keep that family feeling between the existing Ultra Raptor and the new version of the shoe. And we've sort of kept a lot of the really iconic features of the Ultra Raptor, just how the foot is really held securely in place over the midfoot, and everything's kind of visible and on show in terms of the structure with these TPU elements here that connect the midsole to the lacing, and this kind of iconic mud guard that we call it a mud guard along the side here, which helps to protect the foot from more slippery and wet conditions. Another iconic feature is the really grungy toe guard here. And around the back of the shoe, we have a visible heel counter here. So, people really appreciate that they can see the protection. But, the amazing thing is it's actually still a very lightweight shoe in itself.
We've got at least two pairs of the original downstairs in our house, I think. So it's interesting to see this, because I'm guessing as well that from a construction point of view, it's not as simple as bolting on a bit of ankle support either. Unfortunately for you, probably.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, the whole upper section of the shoe has been completely redesigned, and including actually the volume in the shoe as well. And that has actually allowed us to actually produce a shoe in two different widths as well. So we're actually able to offer that for the first time, which has been a really nice feature. But you're right. The upper part itself is obviously the biggest change, and having the laces extend up to a higher level. But we also didn't want to really follow the traditional hiking boot kind of format. So we've kept it flexible enough to give you a good amount of comfort. And also here at the back, you can see there's it's kind of scalloped away here at the back section. And so that really allows for a longer stride. So when you're moving faster over terrain with nothing rubbing up against the Achilles area. And as a kind of a bonus, there's a little flap under here, which helps you put the shoe on as well, which is a nice little touch.
It's amazing how blurry the lines have got in between, as you say, like the running shoe and the hiking boot really here. It's like it fits into both camps and yet neither camp, does it?
Yeah, it's just the evolution of the sport. I've seen it a lot in running, just people wanting to go lighter weight and faster. And it really happens also in hiking as well. People want to retain the comfort and the lightweight of a running shoe, but they just want a little bit more protection, which a hiking boot will offer them. So the mid cut is kind of the best the kind of best all rounder for that.
And this is the Gore-Tex model that you've got as well.
That's correct. Actually, the mid version only comes in Gore-Tex, so all of the colorways will feature the Gore-Tex Extended Comfort membrane. So that's of course another very much a hiking related feature that's appreciated and probably appreciated in UK conditions. But I don't want to stereotype.
I think it's a very fair thing to stereotype. I guess I've always looked at it one of two ways. You either want the Gore-Tex membrane to help keep the water out, or you just get the lightest and most breathable thing you can and acknowledge the fact that your feet are going to get wet really quickly, but they'll dry quicker too.
Yeah, that's right. But the other benefit of having the Gore-Tex, especially in a more in colder conditions, it does help to keep the foot warmer as well.
Hey, so do you want to tell us as well about the sole unit on this?
Yeah, sure. Look, and again, we really wanted to keep the performance benefits of what was a running shoe in terms of having a good flexible shoe, which is very comfortable. But again, the Ultra Raptor line is very much about comfort plus stability. So we also feature a stability support here in the middle section of the shoe. And of course, when we look down on the bottom part of the shoe, one of the things that La Sportiva is very well known for is the quality of its outsole rubber. So here we use our friction white material, and that's our stickiest rubber that we have for sort of ultimate traction on slippery conditions. And lug height of 4.5 millimeters for lug depth, and really, it's a great versatile shoe for really all conditions and in terms of lightweight and fast hiking.
Having used the original Raptors before as well, one of the things is that they are really sticky, but it is an impressively durable compound as well, all things considered.
Yeah, that's right. There is kind of this compromise between the durability and the stickiness of the rubber, but really at La Sportiva, the whole history of the company is kind of something that's been ingrained over the years, because people that know La Sportiva are very familiar with the background in climbing, where the rubber compounds are just so important. And so that know-how has now come into the running and hiking area, where we can have this compromise of a really sticky outsole rubber, plus giving a good amount of durability as well.
So do you want to tell us a bit about the drop, Jonathan? And I know another thing you mentioned alongside the drop is the stack height. So maybe something that some of our audience aren't familiar with.
Yeah, sure. And look, the stack height is probably the more important number to actually get across. So here on the Ultra Raptor II mid GTX version, we have a stack height, which is the height here at the front of 16 millimeters, and at the back it's 28 millimeters. And it's the difference between those two numbers which give you the drop. So the drop in this case is 12 millimeters. And I can also just quickly talk about the weight of the shoe, because we've said, this is a lightweight hiking shoe. So, to give you the number on the weight for a size 42, it comes in at 470 grams. And in a size 38, it will come in at 395 grams.
Now, I'd love to think I'm going to be the one reviewing these, but I know what's going to happen is that our gear editor, Dan Bailey, is going to see this video. And unless some form of miracle happens, he's going to trump me to it. The other thing I was going to ask as well, we mentioned the two differing fits as well.
So yeah, just to expand on the two different width options that we are able to offer. What we're able to do is actually increase the volume from the front part of the shoe through to the mid part of the shoe. And by increasing that volume, it actually accommodates wider feet.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks ever so much for taking us through that. And again, it's going to be really interesting to see these reviewed, because I know for a fact that, building on the legacy of the Raptor range, they're going to be a success. And I'm sure that as well, probably picking your brains, we could probably carry on in this for about another half an hour. We've got another 2 products to go. So we better move on to those at some point. But thanks ever so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.